Hello, I want to talk about veganism in this video. So I'll dip my toe into the subject and I'll talk about it from time to time. So thinking about veganism and comparing it to veganism, okay, there's a lot of similarities, but there's some differences. And there's elements of veganism that's very similar to circumcision and no-fap. So parents circumcise their children, okay, and harm them. Vegans force their children onto a vegan diet and starve them. Sometimes they starve them to death. Yeah. No fappers are mental defects who have anxiety and guilt about a normal bodily function that all men have to do, right? And because you actually do need to fap. And vegans have guilt about eating meat, something that you need to do, okay, to survive. You need to eat meat to survive. You get most of your nutrients and proteins from meat, and you can't substitute them with plants, right? Vitamin B12, for example, and actually there's fats you get from meat that are important for brain development, and not just for your brain functioning. So it's like weird self-loathing guilt that veganism and no-fap has in common, right? And there's child abuse and child neglect elements of veganism that's in common with circumcision. So vegans, I'm not going to cut them slack for the most part. Okay, uh, I think most vegans deep down are trash people. Like there's some decent people get sucked in. They're trying to do it for ethical reasons, but the ones who stick it out long term, there's something wrong with them. They're like narcissists. From what I can see, they're really despicable people. Like if you force your pet cat to be a vegan and you kill it, you're a scumbag. If you put your child onto a vegan diet, you're a scumbag, right? You're a piece of shit and you should be in prison. End of. Just like a cut a parent. If I could have an Android army and program it to target people, certain groups of people, cut a parents will be targeted by the androids, and so would vegan parents. I'm just saying. And, here's the thing, okay? Why are governments tolerating veganism? It's a public health threat. It's a public health threat. It's a child endangerment threat. The government, this no government should intervene. No government should intervene in people's lives. If if you can't feed your kids, you should be punished. If you circumcise your kids, you should be punished. It should be stopped. Parents do not get to decide certain things about the life of their kids. Kids are not objects, right? They're lives that you parents bring into the world, and they're responsible for them. Okay, so veganism is a mental health disorder as well because feminism I don't really class as a mental health disorder, right? So feminism is like a fascism. Feminism is a form of fascism. It's an authoritarian, in-group, out-group hate movement, and it benefits women. It's a power grab by women, and it marginalises men, so it benefits women for the most part. Just like being part of the mafia benefits people who are part of the mafia, right? If you go around breaking people's legs and extorting them, right, and you use murder and violence to get your way and make a profit, you benefit from it, right? The mafia members benefit from it. That's why they're part of the mafia, okay? If you're part of the feminist hate movement, you benefit from it. Most people who are vegans do not benefit from it. It's a mental health disorder because they're destroying themselves, not acting rationally, right? They're acting irrationally. So the only way to benefit from being a vegan is actually not be a vegan. So if you use like a influencer with a big social media following and you're convincing people to be a vegan and that's your niche and you're making a living doing that, but you secretly eat meat, that's a good way to profit from being a vegan, right? I'm sure some of them are actually doing that. right? There's some vegans who are suspiciously healthy and they're glowing in their skin a bit too much. They don't look. They don't look like the long-term vegans who are in the final stages of veganism, because there's something called the final stage of veganism, the stage of veganism just before you die of starvation. Basically, you're rotting away. So yeah, so veganism is a mental health disorder. Government should step in, and they should stop parents starving their kids to death, and they should stop starving their pets. And YouTube pushes veganism down our throat, just like it pushes feminism. It's one of those things protected by the system for whatever reason. So the Ukraine Nazis, NATO aggression against Russia is protected by the YouTube algorithm. There's still disinformation about the Ukraine war, even though it's wrapping up right now. Veganism is protected by the algorithm. Okay, and so is feminism. Yeah. So there's like 2 YouTube videos that I discovered about eggs, and they're vegan videos, and they're trying to convince you that you actually don't need to eat eggs. You do not need to eat eggs, even though eggs are the most nutrient-rich food you can think of. Right? So this is a public health threat. If there was YouTube videos convincing people to eat sand sawdust, right, and it was working, let's say like someone made a YouTube video and it got like 1 million views and like 5,000 people were eating sawdust and damaged their stomachs, right? Yeah, that would be a public health threat, and the people making those videos would be classed as disinformation, and they would be stopped somehow. They'd be deplatformed, and they'll probably be in legal trouble. Yeah, they don't allow self-harming groups on social media. They get taken down, and they don't allow groups that encourage eating disorders that turn people anorexics to remain on social media. They get taken down. Yeah. So why is veganism promoted? It's it's disinformation. It's misinformation that harms. It harms. It's misinformation. I've got a saying: outlaw feminism before it outlaws you. Here's a new one: outlaw veganism before it kills you, before it kills your children. Veganism kills. Yeah, it kills. The government should have public health campaigns educating people why veganism is wrong, why it's a death cult. There should be severe legal penalties for vegan parents who force their kids onto the vegan diet, right? Like lifetime in jail, right? Okay. The governments of the West are failing us, and that you even get fucking vegan food promoted. Vegan food promoted, right? People don't. The thing is, thankfully, people don't want vegan food. They instinctively do not want it, right? It gets left on the fucking shelves, but it's getting promoted, it's getting raised, it's getting grown, it's destroying the environment. It's a fucking waste of resources. We don't want vegan shit. It's not more healthy, it's not more sustainable, it's not better for us, and it's not more ethical to animals. It fails on every single criteria. It's just harm. It's just harm. Yeah? Veganism is a death cult. I think that's everything I want to say about veganism. Over and out.